Hey guys, this is Dan, the retired broker. So today I want to go over a few successful sales closings that I had and how I turned the client around and got them to invest with me. So the first one that comes to mind is I was at a bank, the first bank I worked at in Metro Detroit, actually. And my banker set up a meeting with one of the banking clients. And he comes to me, hey, this guy's coming in tomorrow. He wants commercial paper. I don't even know what that is. Do we sell it? What is it? I told him, let me talk to you first. And I was obviously the financial advisor at this bank. And he's just freaking out about commercial paper because that's what the guy said he wanted. Now, if you don't know what commercial paper is, basically it's a money market for institutional investors. It's just really short term debt issued by a corporation and very low interest on it. So I guarantee you, this guy just heard something about commercial paper, thought it was cool, and wanted to try to buy some. Maybe his buddy told him about it. Maybe he saw it something online. So when my banker told me about this, I couldn't care. I just said, hey, look, just have him come in and we'll close the deal. Don't worry about it. And he couldn't understand why I was saying that. And I told him, I go, look, I don't know if we sell commercial paper or not. It's for institutional investors. It's not for him. I will sell him something he's comfortable with. Don't worry about it. So the next day or two, whenever the guy came in, he comes in, I introduce myself, I'm the financial advisor here, and he starts going off about commercial paper. I want this, I want that. And knowing that he really didn't know what it was, I asked him, which company are you interested in investing in? What rates are they paying? He's like, oh, I don't know. What are they? And I had to explain to him. I had to educate the client. This is for institutional short-term investors. This does not apply to a retail investor's traditional portfolio. So I explained to him what it was, and then I tried to open him up, get him to talk. What are you looking for? Are you looking for something short term? And it turns out what he wanted was completely different. He was a long term investor for retirement. He didn't know what he wanted. I had to tell him, I had to ask him these open ended questions. This is all part of the job. If I came in with commercial paper rates and tried to charge him a brokerage fee on it, that's not going to be a long-term client. I'm just going to sell him a couple securities and no one's really going to make any money on it. Okay? So again, it doesn't really matter what the client says because you're smarter than the majority of them. That's not to discredit the clients, but this is your business. You know this business more than the client. So you have to have confidence, you have to know what you're talking about, but open the client up. Like I said in my previous videos, they're going to tell you what they need or what they want. And you just repeat it back to them. It wasn't the commercial paper that he needed, it was long-term retirement planning. I opened him up and I got him to tell me the reality of what he really needed. And we closed the deal. It was a six-figure account. We put him in mutual funds. I got the upfront fee from it, and everyone made money. Another time, I had somebody at the bank say, look, I'm coming in. I want to talk about estate planning and all this. And I was a little bit new at that time. I was still a little bit young. And he says, I'm going to bring in my lawyer. And I was like, oh, God, he's bringing in his lawyer. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow, whenever the appointment was. I remember I called my coworker and I was kind of freaking out, like, hey, he's bringing in his lawyer. What is this? And we kind of had the same conversation. I know more than the lawyer does. It's not intimidating. Remember, you're the professional behind the desk. Don't let these clients intimidate you. Don't let them intimidate you if they're a doctor, if they are a lawyer, or they're bringing in their lawyer. You know more than them. Let that sink in. You're the licensed professional. They're not. And again, with the client that brought in the lawyer, we closed him as well. It's the same process for every client that walked through the door. They generally don't know what they want. They don't know about investments. They tell you their goals in life, and you repeat it back to them and show them the path to get there. It's as simple as that. Now, here's another one that I'm still really proud of to this day. And this was a fun one. There was this lady at the bank. I believe this was the last bank I worked at. I could hear her from my office just yelling at the tellers. My checking, my savings are not paying anything. I'm not making any money here. I have all this money with you and I'm not receiving any interest. So I finally come out of my office. I walk up calmly. I know she's irate. I get it. She's upset. And still to this day, banks aren't paying anything. Okay? That's just the reality of the situation we live in. Okay? So they're not paying any interest in their cash account. So I go up to her. I'm just like, look, I heard you. I overheard you talking. You're looking for a higher rate. I might be able to help you. I might have some other accounts for you. And right away, well, I don't want any investments. I don't want anything. I'm like, look, we might have things that are guaranteed. Give me 5 minutes of your time. If I can't show you something that'll benefit you and get you a higher guaranteed rate, take your money elsewhere. No problem. We won't try to stop you. And I remember the tellers are looking at me like, what are you doing? She's going to take her money out. I'm just like, here, just come back to my office. I'm Dan. What's your name? Forgot her name, whichever it was. So I calmly walked her back there and I explained the situation. I repeated it back to her. I know we're not paying a lot in your savings account. That's the case across the board. Banks aren't paying a lot anymore. What are you trying to do with this money? Is this just your cash reserve? You just want to keep it safe? Yeah, that's all I'm trying to do. Yeah, I don't want any investments. Okay. I have guaranteed bonds backed by the government that are paying 4% right now. We can put $100,000 in there. There's no upfront fee. It'll go to work for you immediately. You'll be making 4% annually. When these come due, I'll call you. We'll roll them into another set of bonds, another tranche. And she was silent for a while. Okay, that sounds interesting. How does it work? I explained more to her without overselling. They're guaranteed. They're liquid. They're backed by the government. Why wouldn't you invest, basically? Very short meeting. We open an account for her. She deposits $100,000. I walk her out the door. When I return, hero's welcome from the tellers. They couldn't believe it. But I knew she would stay with our bank because I knew what she wanted. It was a very easy sale. She wanted guaranteed money. She wanted a higher rate of return other than zero. And I matched her up with what we had because I know our product mix. That's what I always say in these videos. Know what you're selling. So when you see an opportunity like that, happens just not planned, just an unplanned opportunity like that, you know how to act immediately in that situation. And we closed another 6-figure deal. So these are some stories about when you think others might think you won't be able to close it, but you know your business, you know your product mix, you know how these clients are, and you know what you're capable of. So be ready at all times because you're going to run into these situations. Know how to close them. Refine your process, guys. Thanks.